Have you ever walked into a room and completely forgotten why you went in there? Maybe you've struggled to recall a name that was on the tip of your tongue or misplaced your keys more often than you used to. If so, you're not alone. Memory changes are a natural part of aging, but they don't have to be inevitable. Your brain is like a muscle. The more you use it and care for it, the stronger it stays. And the best part? You don't need complicated brain games or expensive supplements to keep your mind sharp. In this video, we'll go over 5 simple science-backed habits that can help prevent memory loss after 60 and keep your brain functioning at its best for years to come. The truth is, most people don't realize how much daily habits impact their memory. It's not just about doing crossword puzzles or avoiding dementia. It's about maintaining mental clarity, focus, and independence for as long as possible. And the sooner you start, the better your brain will function as you age. So let's dive into the first habit, and it's one that many people overlook. Move your body, save your mind. You might not think of exercise as a brain activity, but studies show that physical movement is one of the most powerful ways to protect your memory. The reason? Your brain needs a steady flow of oxygen-rich blood to function properly. When you move, especially with activities that increase your heart rate, you improve circulation, reduce inflammation, and help build new brain cells. Many people think exercise has to be intense, but that's not true. Even a 20-minute walk each day can make a dramatic difference in your brain health. Research has found that older adults who walk regularly have a lower risk of Alzheimer's and dementia compared to those who don't. It's not just about walking, though. The key is variety. Activities that involve balance and coordination, like dancing, tai chi, or even light strength training, help stimulate different parts of the brain. In fact, one study showed that people who danced regularly had a 76% lower risk of developing dementia compared to those who didn't. Why? Because dancing engages multiple brain regions at once, combining movement, rhythm, memory, and even social interaction. If you're thinking, but I don't like exercising, here's the good news. You don't have to join a gym or run on a treadmill. Find something you enjoy. Gardening, playing with grandkids, taking the stairs instead of the elevator. It all counts. The goal is to keep moving, because when you stop moving, your brain slows down too. Now here's a question. Have you ever felt mentally foggy after a poor night's sleep? If so, you already know how important the next habit is. Have you ever woken up in the morning, but instead of feeling refreshed, your mind feels foggy, like someone poured a bucket of molasses over your thoughts? Maybe you struggle to focus, or you forget little things that wouldn't have slipped your mind years ago. That's not just aging, that's your brain begging for better sleep. Sleep isn't just rest, it's repair time for your brain. While you sleep, your brain does critical housekeeping. It clears out toxins, strengthens neural connections, and organizes memories. But if you're skimping on sleep, those processes get disrupted. In fact, research shows that people who regularly get less than 6 hours of sleep a night have a significantly higher risk of developing dementia. So, what can you do if falling asleep or staying asleep has become a struggle? First, focus on consistency. Your brain thrives on routine, and going to bed at the same time each night helps regulate your sleep cycle. If you're someone who stays up watching TV or scrolling through your phone, it might be time to set a wind-down ritual. Try dimming the lights, reading a book, or listening to soft music an hour before bed. Second, watch what you eat before bedtime. A heavy meal right before sleep can cause inflammation and restless nights, while too much caffeine, even in the afternoon, can keep your brain wired. Instead, try something light and brain-friendly, like a handful of almonds or a cup of chamomile tea. And if you ever wake up in the middle of the night and can't fall back asleep, don't lie in bed tossing and turning. Get up, move to a different room, do something calming, and then return to bed when you feel drowsy. This prevents your brain from associating your bed with frustration. Now, sleep is critical, but what about what you put in your body while you're awake? The foods you eat don't just impact your waistline, they impact how well your brain functions. Have you ever noticed how, after eating a heavy meal loaded with sugar or processed foods, you feel sluggish? That's because your brain is incredibly sensitive to blood sugar spikes and inflammation. Over time, a poor diet can speed up cognitive decline and memory loss. So what should you be eating to fuel your brain and keep your memory sharp? First, let's talk about healthy fats. Your brain is made up of about 60% fat, and it needs the right kind of fat to function properly. That means foods like olive oil, avocados, nuts, and fatty fish like salmon should be part of your diet. These foods contain omega-3 fatty acids, which help build brain cells and reduce inflammation. Second, you need antioxidants to protect your brain from damage. Think of antioxidants as your brain's shield against harmful molecules that speed up aging. Some of the best sources: blueberries, dark leafy greens, and dark chocolate. Yes, dark chocolate in moderation is actually good for your brain. And then there's hydration. Your brain is 75% water, and even mild dehydration can cause memory lapses, difficulty concentrating, and fatigue. If you're not drinking at least 6 to 8 glasses of water a day, your brain is likely suffering. Now, you might be thinking, well, I already eat pretty well, but here's where many people go wrong. They unknowingly eat foods that cause brain inflammation. Processed carbs, excess sugar, fried foods, these all create inflammation, which slows down brain function and increases your risk of Alzheimer's. If you're eating white bread, sugary cereals, or too many processed snacks, it might be time to start swapping them out for whole natural foods. Your brain is one of the most powerful tools you have, but it needs the right fuel to perform its best. And speaking of tools, have you ever considered how what you do with your mind every day impacts its strength? The next habit is one of the most overlooked, yet most effective ways to keep your brain sharp for life. Have you ever heard the saying, use it or lose it? That applies to your muscles, your energy, and most importantly, your brain. Think about when you were younger. Every day was filled with learning, new tasks, problem solving, conversations that required quick thinking. But as we get older, life tends to become more routine. We do the same things, have the same conversations, and rely on habits rather than critical thinking. And that's where the problem begins. Your brain is like a muscle, and if you don't challenge it regularly, it weakens. But here's the good news. You don't need fancy brain games or complicated puzzles to keep it strong. You just need to engage in activities that require thinking, problem solving, and recall. One of the most effective ways to keep your brain sharp is by learning something new. It could be as simple as picking up a new hobby, reading a book on a topic you've never explored, or even trying a new route when driving. The key is to force your brain out of autopilot mode and make it work a little harder. Have you ever tried to memorize a poem or challenged yourself to learn a few words in another language? These simple mental exercises are incredibly powerful. Studies show that people who keep learning and challenging their brains have a lower risk of developing dementia and tend to retain their memory longer. Another powerful habit? Use your non-dominant hand for simple tasks. Brushing your teeth, using utensils, or even writing with your opposite hand forces your brain to form new neural connections. It might feel awkward at first, but that's a good sign. It means your brain is working in a way it's not used to. And if you want an even bigger brain boost, combine learning with movement. Dancing, for example, forces your brain to remember steps, coordinate your body, and stay engaged, all at once. This is why activities like dancing and Tai Chi have been linked to stronger memory and better cognitive function in older adults. Now there's another habit that might surprise you. It's something we often take for granted, but studies show it plays a huge role in memory and brain health. Social connection. Have you ever noticed that after a long, meaningful conversation, you feel more awake, more engaged? That's because conversation is exercise for your brain. When you talk with someone, your brain has to listen, process, and respond, all at the same time. Unfortunately, many people over 60 become more isolated over time. Family moves away, social circles shrink, and before you know it, you're spending more time alone than with others. And the problem? Loneliness is as bad for your brain as smoking a pack of cigarettes a day. Studies show that seniors who stay socially active have a 50% lower risk of cognitive decline compared to those who don't. Why? Because social interaction keeps the brain engaged, forces you to recall names and details, and provides emotional stimulation, all of which protect your memory. So how do you stay socially active? It doesn't mean you have to go out to parties or become a social butterfly. It's about making small efforts to stay connected. A simple phone call to a friend, a weekly coffee date, joining a local group or class, volunteering in your community. Even chatting with a neighbor or store cashier can give your brain the stimulation it needs. The goal is to avoid long periods of isolation, because the more you engage with others, the stronger your brain stays. And here's something powerful. Laughter is one of the best memory boosters. Watching a funny movie, sharing jokes, or spending time with people who make you laugh reduces stress and strengthens brain function. So don't just stay social, make sure you're having fun too. Now we've talked about movement, sleep, diet, mental exercise, and social connection. But there's one final habit that ties everything together. It's a simple daily practice that protects your memory, reduces stress, and even improves problem-solving skills. Have you ever walked into a room and completely forgotten why you went in there? Or struggled to recall a word that was just on the tip of your tongue? It's frustrating, isn't it? And when it happens more often, it's easy to start worrying that your memory is slipping away. But what if I told you that stress, not age, might be the real culprit? Chronic stress is like poison for your brain. When you're under stress, your body releases cortisol, a hormone that, in small amounts, helps you react to challenges. But too much cortisol for too long, it shrinks the hippocampus, the part of your brain responsible for memory and learning. And if you've spent years dealing with worry, pressure, or high levels of stress, it could be silently damaging your ability to remember and focus. So how do you fight back? The good news is, you don't need to eliminate stress entirely. That's impossible. What matters is how you manage it. One of the most powerful ways to reduce stress and protect your memory is deep breathing and mindfulness. You don't have to sit cross-legged and meditate for hours, but just taking a few minutes each day to breathe deeply, clear your mind, and be present in the moment can lower cortisol levels and help your brain function better. Try this right now. Take a deep breath in through your nose for 4 seconds, hold it for 4 seconds, and slowly exhale through your mouth for 6 seconds. Doing this just a few times a day can calm your nervous system, improve focus, and even boost recall. Another simple but effective way to train your brain to handle stress better is by practicing gratitude. It might sound too simple, but research shows that people who take a moment each day to reflect on positive experiences have lower stress levels, better sleep, and sharper memories. At the end of the day, try writing down 3 good things that happened. It doesn't have to be anything big. Maybe the sun was shining, you had a nice conversation, or your favorite song came on the radio. Training your brain to focus on the good instead of stress actually rewires your neural pathways to be more resilient. And here's another powerful habit that ties everything together: laughter. Yes, something as simple as laughing more can reduce stress, improve mental clarity, and even enhance problem-solving skills. Watching a funny movie, telling jokes with friends, or reminiscing about happy memories doesn't just make you feel good, it's actually helping your brain stay strong. Now let's take a moment to put everything together. Memory loss isn't just something that happens overnight, and it's not something you have to accept as inevitable. Small daily choices make all the difference in how sharp your mind stays as you age. You now know that staying active, prioritizing sleep, eating the right foods, keeping your brain engaged, maintaining social connections, and managing stress are all simple but powerful ways to protect your memory. You don't need to overhaul your life overnight. Just start with one small change today. Take a walk, call a friend, challenge yourself to learn something new, drink more water. Every small step adds up, because here's the truth. Your best years aren't behind you, they're still ahead. A sharp mind, a strong memory, and a fulfilling life are still within your reach. Now I want to hear from you. What's one small habit you're going to start today to keep your brain healthy? Let me know in the comments. And if you found this video helpful, make sure to like, subscribe, and turn on notifications for more tips on staying sharp, strong, and independent at any age. Here's to living with clarity, confidence, and a mind that stays sharp for years to come.